All right, Deb, you're on.
You know, I don't understand. Speech happens and there's a company to speak.
It's not a third of the company, it's just a third of the people that would sit right here.
Yeah.
It's probably 3/4 of the people that would sit right here.
Yeah.
It's too soon. Jim used to sit right there.
Oh,
wow. Look at that.
Too soon.
Already forgot.
Too soon, Tim. Too soon. Tim.
GT wasn't. Yeah, we won't remember him in a week or something like that.
I've had therapy for 2 years to try and forget who he was. After the frozen banana story. Which Rob?
That sounded like an emergency.
Excuse me? I have no idea who you are. Sir, step back, sir. Well, Robert? I stole his power supply. Power supply. Well, if I didn't own everything anyway.
You don't?
I do.
You personally own all this?
I do.
How'd that work?
When something of yours breaks and you come to me, let's have that conversation again.
Cool, come here.
She tried it, and she spoke to you Rosetta and ended up being snowman. Barbara's working hard.
Oh, I hate this thing. Cool, Rob. You're bigger than me. Ron, am I impacting your life? Wow.
No.
5 minutes, Dan? Your presentation? No, just wondering. Yeah. Just wanted to see how close to time you could follow.
Not my last.
Chris, I got the phone. Okay. Got it.
No, we'll talk about that on our call. I want to do two things on the call. One, sort of the statistics of how what does the deal look like before, and then I got RCA because he thinks we might have to do something different with our SMBP connection to them than what we do.
Good morning.
The other SMBP. Okay. So we'll see. Yeah, I mean, the guy's reached out to me now twice. So. Yeah, no kidding. It's an amazing thing. It's definitely people. Yeah, exactly.
Where's the list of text? Ryan Cable, delete, save. What was it, these pens? Were they what did it? They were gone. You say the word.
She probably just pulled out already.
Yeah. He's found it out a little bit.
Hands on.
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, hey there. Sorry, I didn't know you guys had given me the mic.
Yeah, you're on.
All right, very good. Well, good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I know we're probably still doing some stuff for speech test, but it is quick. And, all right, thanks, Dan. If you want to just go to the first slide. Okay, all right. So, guys, next week we are going to give an overview of the results of the Q12, as we talked about. Me and Ryan put together a good deck to kind of give an overview of how we're going to get folks' feedback to make sure that we're understanding what the results say and that they are sort of translated into actionable things that can make changes around the company and how we do things. So more to come on that. But Alex and Ashley, thanks to them. They put a ton of effort into it. Danny's been helping them as well. So we also have the board meeting next week on Thursday. So you'll be seeing those folks running around. But definitely will be a good one as a result of the fantastic results we put out this last quarter. We're also, normally we would be announcing the Obsession Award this week, but since it's speech tech and not everybody's here, we won't be doing that. But please, if you have a nomination, we've gotten a couple already, but if you have a nomination for the last month, happy to accept it still. Then also, we'll be getting a brief speech tech update from Amy, who's out there just since everybody's been putting all this effort into it. We want to try to get us involved, for those of us who are not there, to hear kind of what's happening. And then we also have a great demo from our friend Dan, and I don't know if he's given out the special surprises for everybody being there today.
Nope.
Is that the case?
Nope.
I'm on mute, I'm guessing. And there's no all-hands chat. But I hope I didn't just ruin any sort of surprise. But either way, Dan put a lot of thought into this meeting this week, so thank you very much, Dan. And with that, I will turn it on over to him.
Okay, hopefully everybody can hear me. I am going to continue driving. I'm going to stay down here because there is a little bit of demoing.
Wait a minute. Not to him. We need to turn over to Amy, who should be on the call.
I didn't know about that.
Do what?
Amy's coming in with an update, I guess?
She gave him a phone number, or?
He was going to call it.
Alright. I don't know what phone number she's calling
I
from.
don't think she's registered.
Hello?
Yeah, we're trying to find Amy, and we're not actually sure that she's called in right now.
And I don't see your microphone tracking on the screen there, so maybe it's not on.
No. Do we know Amy's phone number that she's calling from?
Oh. Probably her. She's probably called in from her mobile. Let me go find my
No, I got it.
phone. I have her cell phone.
I got it. We should have her now. Amy? Hello?
I don't know if people can hear us.
I didn't know we're not muted.
Her cell phone is...
Ian, can you hear us?
I don't think so.
We lost everything.
Oh, yeah.
No, I can't hear them at all.
Where's the device?
Now we have audio.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you guys hear us?
Okay, great. Sorry. Yeah, internet connection is horrible here. So, got a little feedback. Is that bad for you guys, or?
No, we don't hear it.
Oh, you don't?
Okay.
Oh.
So real quick updates. I've got a couple updates from Dan York, and I also have a few updates from the customer side. So Speech Tech is going great. We have a bunch of clients that came to visit us. So we got to spend some time with Silverlink, with Voice Gen X, and with TXDS. So it's really great because we've never actually met the people from TXDS or Voice Gen X in person. So a lot of good opportunities there. We also have some traffic by the booth. So we've got a little scanner, and we're scanning all the leads that come through there. From the marketing side, and actually analyst side, we've had 3 great meetings with analysts from Frost & Sullivan, Ovum Data Monitor, and Open3. So they're all very positive about what we're doing with SMS, text messaging, and also with moving VO into the cloud. So there's some real good discussions going on there, and support for our direction there. So that's great news. We have 3 more meetings with independent industry analysts scheduled for today. And then we had 3 meetings yesterday with reporters, one of whom was Forbes.com. So we had some very good conversations there, and we'll see what covers results from that. We've got a couple clients, Heartland Payment Systems, Arctingent, and RoadLink, who are all willing to help out with some reporter interviews. So we're trying to kind of rope them in and get that going. We've got 3 news releases out with accompanying videos and blog posts. Dan Burnett gave his talk on voice smash-up. And Dan York gave his talk on communication security. Tobias participated in some lab sessions on development tools and analytics, and Dan Burnett's also been at a number of the sessions kind of gathering information about what companies are doing this week. So it looks like we're getting pretty good traffic. We've had a lot of really great conversations, and you know, just having a good time here. And Poker Party was fantastic last night.
Who won?
Actually, I left early, so I have to get you guys the winners.
I suppose it was to work, right? You left early to go work.
I know we had an iPad and an Apple HDTV up for grabs. So if I can get some internet connection here, I'll find out from Kim who won. I know that we had a gentleman, Charles from Press 4 was still in. I know we had one of the guys from IBS. Mark Stallings, I think, was still in, and a gentleman from United Healthcare. So I think there were 3 or 4. So I have to see out of those guys who took the lead.
All right, cool. Thanks.
Great, thanks everyone.
All right, Ann's back.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for it. Hopefully, folks can hear me. If not, give Rob a ping. Obviously, there's no days to go. We're negative 2 days right now at this point, so we've been counting that down, and we made it past there. Just to give you guys a summary of what we were trying to accomplish, we were trying to have demos at Speech Tech. We were trying to have deliverables actually do at Speech Tech for voice objects on demand. That was actually taking the voice objects product and getting it into the cloud so that people could use it through Evolution. I think I'm happy to report that we actually did that. That was actually pushed out. It was pushed out Monday morning. The press releases went out. Everyone could attach to it. We had 90 instances sitting and ready to go for customers to sign up, and we can spin up additional 30 at any point, and we can keep spinning blocks of 30 anytime we want to. So I think we actually did hit that deliverable. Production SMS. That was a hardening of the current SMS offering. If you remember what I mentioned before, is that everything right now runs through IMified, and there's a lot of moving parts, and we're trying to get voice XML beta tested and a bunch of other things. And what we found is customers like RoadLink went to production, that it was a little harder than we wanted to debug in the current beta state. There were a lot of moving parts, places where things could break down. So this was an attempt to simplify that and get just a production SMS offering that worked with the existing IMFI bot infrastructure. I'm happy to report that was done. That was pushed out. We actually have boxes handling SMS traffic from Bandwidth and Iris and Cineverse and Kintech in all 5 data centers right now. And we've got multiple boxes in each one of those. So we actually have something that isn't just running on a box in Orlando anymore. So that should help, yes. Very nice. And I know we got the agreement closed with Kintech, thanks to a lot of work from Paul. So a lot of good work there. Hosted analytics was part of the Voice Objects On Demand push. I'll be showing you guys that in a little bit. That made it out. There was one piece on that. It made it out. We did pull back from the actual Prophecy analytics part of that. So the Prophecy 10 build right now is not included in the analytics, but it will be for the production SMS. But it is demoable, and we can show it. Prism. The Prism GA build went out on Tuesday. It was ready to go. Actually, late Monday it went out, but it was available on time. It went out with, up on the site. It's available for download from voiceobjects.com/prism. It has the extra stuff that we were looking to put in it. For example, it's got OpenVBX. It's got the Tropo extensions. So I believe we did actually a good job getting that out as well. Phono and the SDK. So the Phono.com site was very exciting in the process of getting that going. There was so much interest, so many ideas for features, so many different ways that this could spin. And as JT and others got really excited, and Chris and everybody got in there, and they were coming up with ideas and pushing things, John made the decision to say, we're going to hold off on launching the Phono.com site until we can finish a lot of those really cool ideas. They were actually additional ideas beyond what originally was conceived of. So John has a lot of really cool directions for that. Chris has a lot of cool directions, and the Phono.com site will come out a little later. The SDK, however, did go, and we boxed for it, everything else for it. It went out. We went out private beta as promised to our customer summit attendees. So I consider that a success, even though the scope is expanding some. Prophecy 10 GA, it also went out Tuesday morning. So good last-minute push on the UI, good last-minute push on getting the QA done, a bunch of different people jumping in to help test upgrade paths and everything. QA was up several very late nights to try and get this going. But in the end, it pushed, and the release notes are there, and the press releases went out, so that was done. So by my book, while there are still things to improve, we've got good lists of things that we have to get done to get to production SMS and everything else. We hit what we set out to hit 6 or 7 weeks ago. Now, having said that, we got a little bit of a demo. We wanted to show at least the voice objects part of it. Right before we do that, I'm going to indulge myself a little bit here, and I had some fun. This is just a little thank you. This is mostly engineering focused, and I'll talk to you guys afterwards. It'll only take 30 seconds. Not everybody's going to be able to hear this, so we'll just go for it. Yeah. Oh, there was a dead puppy there. Yeah. So I'll post a link to that video. It's really quick. The main point of having all of that scroll by was that there were a ton of engineering, operations, and QA folks that went into getting those 7 deliverables pushed out. Now, what's not listed up there, and what I did not have the names for everybody on, is there were a wealth of people that worked on getting this done from, for example, support. I didn't list, Dante, who gave us a lot of good review stuff. We had some good meetings with all of the support guys who gave us feedback. Project management, Gordon Cloak, rest in peace, he's gone to Disney. He's dead to me, I'm sorry. Yeah. Gordon put a lot of work in to get this done. But Joe Ballard, he stepped in right at the end and helped us push these deliverables out. Product management, Matt Bookspan has been giving sales talks. He's been giving talks to a bunch of different people in marketing, trying to get them to understand where we're going with this. So, just across the board, there's a lot of people that I didn't list here that weren't, actually involved in typing and testing and pushing builds late at night. But I did want to thank everybody that's up on that list. If somehow I possibly missed somebody, my deep apologies. While the hamsters were not harmed, I know there were some people that had worked very late at night and lost a lot of sleep. So for those of you that don't know, one of the things that came up in the process of this was that the phrase "whipping the hamster" was deeply embedded into this project. We spent a lot of late nights whipping the hamster. We spent a lot of time integrating the hamsters into the product line, so they're even part of the architecture. So, yes. So, now, having said that, I just want to briefly introduce Voice Objects on Demand. The model that we chose to use was we said, okay, there's a product, Desktop for Eclipse from Voice Objects, which a lot of people know, a lot of people love to use, a lot of enterprise customers are excited to use and would welcome the chance to use that without having to deploy their own infrastructure to use the server side of that product. So what we did was we said, okay, well, that's great, but do we want to force them all to come to our website to edit or do anything else or learn new tools? And we said, no, we don't. We want them to use the tool that they know and they love, and we would like it to be, we'd like it to function in as much of a familiar way as possible. So right off the bat, this is it's very hard for some people to see. This is Desktop for Eclipse. I would expect that, 99% of people that came to this product and downloaded Desktop for Eclipse that's enabled for the on-demand service, who open up that they would have no idea that there was a difference between what they were doing in DFV right now and when they were using the hosted offering. And so I think we were successful in getting that done. If you go into your Eclipse preferences, typically you configure how you're going to operate in Voice Objects off this preferences pane. You can see right here it says work in standalone mode. That was in the previous offering. Work in network mode, that's if you've got a server that you want to control or work with that's remote, right? Well, that was an existing option that was there. We added one more option, work with Voice Objects on Demand. And there's a little place here where you can enter your Evolution credentials. You can test your connection to Evolution. It's successfully established. So this is my normal Evolution account. Anyone in this room who has Desktop for Eclipse can enable VO, actually just entering their Evolution credentials. So that's, I think, the fact that it works no differently and it just sits there as an option under network mode, and folks are already used to using network mode where there's a remote server and certain limited functionality when you're running remote, and that functionality now matches up. People are going to have no problem adopting this product. So that was kind of our goal, and I think we did a good job there. So once you set up your Evolution credentials and you say OK, what you'll see is that down in the control center down here, you have a new server. It's VOD instance 89BEA2. Ignore the 89BEA2. Maybe not friendly, but we needed a unique identifier because everybody's in the same pool. The fun part is this server right here is your very own, completely dedicated, completely isolated JVM devoted to you, the customer. So there's really we're not ganging up 50 customers in the same image all running together and doing, you actually have your own deployment with your own repository ID, your own database, your own applications and services. And that was really key in making this work just the way you would expect it to normally work. There's really, I can't say this enough, no difference between hitting this product and hitting that remote instance and hitting another remote server that you would have tipped up, say, in your own data center. So very, very easy from that standpoint to use. In the Service Manager, we tried to make it so there's a couple extra little places you can do deployments. So, for example, there's your normal publish step right here. Hold on. Demo jitters. Here we go. Okay. So, I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong tab. There you go. I'm in the repository browser instead of the object browser. So anyways, if you're actually in the object browser, you're looking at your main start module, you have options here to do deployments, not only to an existing service, but also to a new service. So you can actually create a service on the fly when you're creating a new Voice Objects application. And once you deploy that, it'll actually set up an Evolution. So once the deployment occurs to either here or the test service, if I were to go over to my normal application manager in Evolution, you'll actually see there's a VOD sample app. And it's listed as voice objects on demand with SMS. You notice that we have both SMS and regular on-demand options. So there's new PPIDs, PPID 511 and 518. So not only do you have kind of this familiarity of working with DFE, but you can also hop into Evolution and see the applications that you've created, the service bindings you've created, just as if you were in your normal Evolution dealing with Designer or something like that. So the model is very similar to what you would do with Designer. You pick a PPID, and then you can pick an app, and you can see I've deployed to test service, and I've deployed the VOD sample app, so I can pick from either one of those. We'll actually get the drivers right and set up all the start URLs, all that complicated stuff that Jeremy has to teach people to do when he's in training, where he tells people to go ferret out, this big, long URL that has driver designators and everything else like that, taken care of. Bundled into here, done just by setting up the PPID and setting up your deployment. So the deployment model is something that we're proud of, and I think works pretty well. But also at the same time, as you can see Service Manager, you can see your services. You can go through server logs. You can do all the normal stuff. You can enable tracing. For example, I've got session tracing set up, and you can see all the calls that we've been making to my system. You can actually see your normal debugging and logging information there. You can get your logs from your server instance. So again, just beating that drum, it's very easy to deal with this product once you've got DFE, and it follows all the normal models. I think beyond that, I do want to actually jump over, because we are trying to keep this very short. So I already showed you here that your integration is just within your normal application manager. If I were to create an application, another new one, just like Designer, I can pick one of these two PPIDs and I can re-choose one or more of the services to re-provision separate apps or to go production, do anything like that. Now, production will come in the third quarter, but everything we know and love about how we work with Designer and how we work with DFE, it's in here. Other touch points, when you log in Evolution now, you'll pick up something new, which is application analytics. So any of the traffic now that's running on these DO instances is actually being repatriated back to, any of the infrastructure data is being repatriated back to the Orlando data center, where we have a very large server, infrastructure server, that is capturing all of the normal infrastructure analytics information that you would expect. So now not only have we made it easy for you to use VO, we've made it easy for you to use InfoStore and their analytics product. Before, if you did manage to get a deployment going, and that, again, not too hard. You get some servers tipped up and you get VO running. That's great. But you also had the burden of having to install a database. You had to install an Oracle or a SQL Server, or you had to, and you had to go acquire MicroStrategy, or figure out that, where you're going to get your Cognos, and because you want some business analytics, and that's got to run against the database. So you've got a database. You've got business analytics software, intelligence software. You've got all these things that you've got to deploy and configure. There's a lot of documentation to read. We've taken all of that away. Now you just point at the cloud, you say go, and not only do you have your deployment of that, you have your deployment of the database, and you have your business intelligence tipped up. So when you go into application analytics, for example, today I ran some calls this morning. Let's see who was calling my app this morning. There's top 20 callers. There's a start date and end date. I want all services. I do the run, and right there you can see that for my test service and my VOD sample app for today, the top 20 callers were my son, my wife, myself, and my SIP client. Because I called them at home and I said, oh crap, I have no data. Amy, get Jake and start calling this number. And so they did that for me this morning. And so I have some data and I can see what they did.
Thanks, Fulford.
Yeah. So in the process of doing that, not only to discover what, who's actually home, because I noticed that my daughter did not help. Found that out. My daughter opted out of the exercise. So you can do these things with analytics, right? So I can also, take a look and I can realize that, my wife, when she was using the application, I pointed out to her, I said, hey, it's kind of interesting. I noticed you guys are using voice and DTMF. And she said, using what? And I said, DTMF. Yeah, using what? And I said, you're using the touch tone. She goes, yeah, that's what I did. I didn't use the voice. Well, my son, turns out, all he did was use the voice stuff. My wife, she's pressing touch tones, okay? I know that too now about my family. I know it's pressing the voice. So, again, my daughter's not represented here.
You have a daughter?
So, in terms of call duration, all of these reports are there. You can actually download them if you can see one of these reports. Say I do my top 20 callers. And I decided, I want to take that with me. You can click and you can download a PDF. That PDF is actually, should look very much the same. Yep, there you go. Looks the same as what we had up on the web. So all of this analytics is there. We will be adding additional reports very soon. But wait, there's more. There's more. Don't start looking at your laptops yet. We know that some people will look at this and they'll go, that's great, but I know you use SQL Server and I can't stand that, and I like to do my own thing with SQL, with Oracle, and I like that a lot better. And I got my own data center and I got my Oracle database and I'm really good with BI, and that's cute, but I got my reports, right? So in that case, there's this thing over here that says automated archiving. We have made it so that with one button press, those customers who feel they're better than us can click the Enable Analytics Archiving, and it will come back and say it's been enabled, and you get your little confirmation down here. And what that does is if you go back to Files, Logs, and Reports, there will be a new directory that will start showing up at night, InfoStore Export. InfoStore Export now has a nightly, I've been turning it on and off, so this is a little bit of demo magic, guys, okay? It didn't just pop up. So, once it's enabled, I've been getting nightly exports from my repository ID, my data set on that big server. It's being exported in a CSV format that we have import scripts that we can give out to the customers for, that they can import all of this data back into their own database, and then they can do their own data analytics. So we have enabled not only for them to do this stuff, online, get some quick reports and everything else like that, but we've given them the option to do what they know and love and use their own reports on their site. So we haven't taken their ability away to do that. This is all, in fact, this is the model that Aclaris is using. They like to use their own data center. So we have not at all impacted Aclaris' ability to do what they want, and at the same time, they can pop in and get some quick reports for their, for maybe folks internally who don't have access to that data set. So really quite nice on that front. Now, I do want to say this has got, let's see if I can find, I wanted to show you guys a brief look at, so this right here, this scary mess of lines, and I made them curvy to make them scary. But I did consider it a huge, accomplishment that I was able to not cross any lines when I drew this diagram. I was pleased with myself about that. So, but if you look at this, you can see that all of this material that's in green here, these are the EC2 instances. That's Amazon. So all of that material is running in Amazon. You can see for each EC2 box that we set up and run, we've got a daemon process called the Ripper on there. We've got 30 hamster daemons. They're actually named hamsters. The Ripper whips the hamsters into starting up the JVM instances. So once those are up and running, each of these boxes has up to 30 customer images running on it. And anytime we can spin up additional ones. They will actually be hosting and generating the VXML, but they're also sending data back that's going to come through this path through an external broker, through some internal consumers into this big, Matt actually dubbed this database, the BFG 9000? The BFG 9000. So other ops people may not have a sense of humor and may call it VODB 109, but we call it BFG 9000. So that box is actually consuming all of that data. We've got jobs that are running, SSIS jobs, that are actually generating all those slices that you see for the customers and pushing their web hosting accounts. We've got code that's running here that's actually the business intelligence software, which is hitting that database and presenting things through evolution. We have a new web service that you can use. All the REST services that you use to provision these things will actually work and continue to work. Provisioning database, all that good stuff. Now, one of the things that I find is really cool about this thing, besides running everything in Amazon, is that the Ripper and the hamsters, I'm going to give a special nod on this one because I think it's really cool. Johan and Bastian and Fuad and things like that, Johan especially, they had built a huge framework in quality assurance in Cologne for spinning and running VO instances to capture test data. So the entire QA infrastructure was running on a bunch of code, some Python, that the QA guys put together to actually drive VO for testing. Well, when we got into crunch and we wanted to actually deploy this solution up in the cloud, we realized we had to manage all these instances. Guess what? The QA guys became engineering. So most of the QA staff in Cologne spent a good chunk of time the last 3-4 weeks adapting the material that they had already created for the quality assurance framework, and it became effectively a production deliverable. So I think what's exciting about that is I think it just goes to show you never, ever, ever stop looking throughout the entire company at what anyone is doing, whether it's, Dyer's in support writing some tools that he's using for professional services, and we realize that's something we can redeploy, whether it's something that Sergey's doing in his, IR tests and things that maybe we can deploy that. But I think almost anything we've got in this company is always fair game for pushing it out within the product and within the product set, and for, quite frankly, becoming a part of the thing that we've identified in Project Growth is going to be the single biggest moneymaker for the next 12 months. So, everybody's got to keep talking. The unlock communications part, if we were a nice, old-fashioned, siloed company where basically engineering didn't talk to QA, guess what? We would have gone and rewritten all that shit, and it would have cost us 2 weeks, and we would have missed the date. So I think this is an example, huge example, of why unlock communications is a very cool thing, and why we've got to keep our mind open to what people are doing all throughout the company. So, having said that, I think I'm going to. I will do one last brief mention. I will show you guys, because I don't know how many people have seen it. We've got the VO On Demand site where they can download things. The normal download page, the developer portal, has got the trial site. And I did want to, just as I'm closing out, show you guys, this was the UI that was used. I don't know if anybody will have a chance to get it on the demo floor with POPC 10. So just a really quick look. On the show floor, there's this banner. It's actually a live banner. I left it just hard-coded here, but actually on the floor with the Beast, which can run 16,000 ports, they've got a live updating ticker right there up on the big screen that shows how many calls we're running at any one given moment. It might be 16,384 or whatever, but it's a big number. But you can also see we've got the new UI. It's a little bit easier to navigate. A little bit more real estate that we recover for running different things. John is still working on this. He's still polishing the graphics and everything, but if it weren't on the faded screen, it actually looks pretty nice. Organization for the backup material and restore has moved. This is all in the P10GA, but it looks pretty good. So, having said that, I'm going to stop talking. I'm at a half hour, but I will mention not demo-wise, but I will say if there is anything else you guys would like to learn, please again ask myself. Please reach out, ask Stefan what's going on voice objects. If you have any questions, I think he would love to have the chance to talk to you guys and show what the guys have built over there. Talk to Ray. This demo was about voice objects, but we could have done an equally long demo on Prism and all of the things that are on Prism in terms of getting Tropo Local. Thinking of Puerto Tropical or something, I don't know. Chicken, lunch. So there's Tropo in there, but there's also OpenVBX. So OpenVBX is that new telephony service that's actually been embedded within Prism. A lot of work went in from John Dyer again. There's that crossover that we're seeing to try and get this thing running. Adam's been helping on that and doing a lot of PHP work. So, talk to Ray. Ask him. Really, seriously, if you guys got a few minutes at some point, it doesn't hurt to give these guys a call and find out what kind of things are being built. Also, jam sessions. Last time I showed this slide, it was Matt Bookspan who's giving internal presentations. He's given those. There's been a lot of training that's gone internally. But now the internal and external training continues. And Sabina has set up new jam sessions. There's a jam session for VoiceObjects 10, and it comes with a VOD introduction. You guys can sign up for those. I've got a URL for you on those. But the first one's August 26th. Feel free to ping Sabina if you want to get in on that. It's a much deeper dive than what I just gave, and I think will be a lot of fun. On the wiki side, the Corp VD and VD Speech Tech, but there's also the Prism and all the materials in Google Docs and the wiki. So make sure you just talk to us and look for things. And for those of you who saw my video, you saw that the cake was a lie. I'm here to tell you the cake at Voxeo is not a lie. So, what we've got is Mike Cervantes was on his way over when the meeting started to try and pick up 10 cheesecakes from Cheesecake Factory. They will be here today. They will hopefully be fun. I don't know. Yeah, right. But Mike will get here in an hour, and that's not all. In Cologne, they actually got cheesecake, but they also picked up some Dunkin' Donuts. You didn't know the Dunkin' Donuts? This was a treat there. So there's Dunkin' Donuts there. They got cheesecake. And in Beijing, they went out and they had a local baker they have some kind of chocolate decadence kind of cake. So they have chocolate cake in Beijing. So, again, at Boxeo, the cake is not a lie. So, having said that, I'm done. There you go.